You're watching the MWHS Wildcat News, the official news source of Millard West, with Edison Geiler and Caitlin Willard.
Welcome back, Wildcats!
To the final broadcast of the year. Eddie and I will be anchoring for the 2019-2020 school year. We have some great broadcasts to finish off the end of an awesome school year.
This week we'll cover a journey of a lifetime,
The pep rally,
one of our mascots receiving a letter,
a student's geocaching hobby,
and the third annual sensory-friendly first responder event. Most teenagers wouldn't have the opportunity to drive through 48 states, but for freshman Adam Straub, he and his father are taking the trip of a lifetime over the summer to raise funds and awareness about autism. Gabriel Paredes brings you this heartwarming feature.
This summer, freshman Adam Straub will be taking a summer vacation many would envy at his age. Along with his father, Mike Straub, Adam will embark on a journey across all 48 states of continental America in a light blue Chevrolet Corvette. Not just for themselves, but for a good cause as well, as it is also a fundraiser for Autism Action Partnership. Since Adam has Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism, AAP seemed like the perfect fit to give back to an organization that has already been such a great help for Adam and his family since his diagnosis.
So I asked him, I said, hey, what do you think of turning this into a fundraiser? And what'd you say?
I said that was a great idea.
And then as we were talking about, okay, well, what should the fundraiser be about or what for? And Adam has autism, Asperger's syndrome, and so it just seemed a natural fit that we should try to pull in autism as part of the fundraiser. And so I was talking with Jolene, my wife, and she said, she mentioned Autism Action Partnership.
Their Circle of Friends program started in grade school. Adam's been in, it's a social skills network. In grade school, he's surrounded by neurotypical friends. As that progresses through middle school and high school, it becomes more of less of a one with a group and more of a group of people with similar issues.
Since connecting with AAP, Mike has taken the time to network with other businesses and organizations looking for donations with an initial goal of $48,000, $1,000 for each state they reach, all for Autism Action Partnership.
Runza, I contacted them, and sure enough, two of the stores here in Omaha are willing to donate 15% of their proceeds on the day we leave. That's the 29th. And so that was really cool. And then My Place Hotels, they were the first national corporate sponsor that jumped in. And so that's awesome. They're going to blog about the trip. They're retweeting and putting it on their social media. And then they're also donating as well. So that's wonderful.
Despite sometimes feeling uncomfortable in social situations, Adam is stepping up for this trip and fundraiser by getting out of his comfort zone and talking to strangers with cameras and difficult questions.
Is it sometimes hard for you to find your words?
Yeah. Mostly like the questions that people give me, like sometimes they don't make sense to me, sometimes they make sense to them.
The original idea for such an audacious trip around the country stemmed out of Mike's annual adventures with his sons. After cancer hit family members while Adam was young, Mike decided to live his dreams within his means, buying a used Corvette and traveling the country in it with the license plate "Why Wait" on the back. His sons, Adam and Eric, started alternating trips with their dad when Eric Straub went to Alaska with his father in the Corvette when he was just 9 years old.
I've been doing one-on-one trips with my two boys. Adam here, he's the youngest, he's a freshman, and Eric is a junior. It started about 10 years ago. Bought a used Corvette at the time, two-seater, so you can only take one other person on the trip. But when Eric was 9, I decided to try it out and do a longer trip with him. And his first trip was Alaska. I actually drove up to Alaska. He flew up on his own, and then he rode back with me for 2.5 weeks as we tent camped out of the back of a Corvette on the way home from Alaska. And so every year since, been doing trips.
Mike will be rolling into the school parking lot on May 29th at 1:30 p.m. to pick up Adam for his grand trip. An adventure of a lifetime, not just for themselves, but for the communities they're part of. Whether it's Millard West, Nebraska, or people with autism across America, this is a journey for everyone. This has been Gabe Paredes, one last time, for the MWHS Wildcat News.
Adam and his father are leaving today at 1:30 with a staff and student send-off in the parking lot. Teachers can let their students out during third block if they wish to attend the event. We all wish Adam and his father the best of luck on this life-changing trip.
The final pep rally of the year was held on Tuesday, May 21st to acknowledge the achievements of the spring sports teams. Jasmine Hermosillo Padilla and Tenley Wright bring you this news story.
On Tuesday, May 21st, the school held a final pep rally to honor spring sports state qualifiers and champions. The boys varsity baseball team made school history by taking home the first state baseball title for Millard West after 11 innings against Millard South.
The year we started off 19-0, finished 28-5, and for them, the way they played at the state tournament by only giving up one run the whole tournament, and that was in the championship game in extra innings, and to beat the private blue team twice and the school down the street twice was probably one of the most impressive things I've ever seen as a coach. So,
the girls varsity soccer team beat Marion at the state championship, ending with the score of 4-1.
I've been doing this a long time. This is probably the best girls soccer team in high school, period, ever.
Other honorable sports at the pep rally included girls tennis, track, unified track, boys soccer, wrestling, and golf. This has been Jasmine Hermosillo and Tenley Wright with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Congratulations to all of our spring sports teams, especially girls soccer and boys baseball, for bringing home the state championship.
Sophomore Rylan Moody has dedicated himself to being a mascot for our various Wildcat teams. His dedication has earned him special recognition in the form of a varsity letter. Madeline Augustine and Brianna Treader bring you this feature.
On Wednesday, May 15th, sophomore Rylan Moody was awarded his letter for all of the hard work and dedication he has put into being a member of the Millard West Mascot Club in front of all of his classmates and his mom.
I was really surprised and wasn't expecting it.
Rylan has exemplified Millard West Wildcat style and pride and has certainly made an impact on all of the athletes and fans alike for the past year and a half.
Rylan's brother, I know, is involved with athletics, and so Rylan's been around it a lot. So him being able to be involved as well, like as a mascot, I think has just provided him the opportunity for involvement. He loves being around the athletes, he loves being around the athletics, and he loves being a mascot. That really motivates him every day, just like it would any other athlete. And so he takes pride in what he does. He's committed, he's dedicated, and I think most of the athletes will tell you how much they appreciate what Rylan does. You can depend on him. He's going to show up. So I just think this has really allowed Rylan to be involved.
Upon hearing about this, several baseball players reached out to congratulate Rylan via Twitter.
No, he definitely deserves it. I mean, the things he does might be minor to some people, but the support he brings to me especially makes my day every day, so he definitely deserves it.
This has been Madeline Augustine and Brianna Treader with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Congratulations to Rylan for earning his varsity letter. We can't wait for him to continue to bring positive energy to all of our sports teams.
Junior Logan Bergen has taken up the hobby of geocaching, which he talks about with Bailey Christensen and Dev Mehta in this unique feature story.
A few years ago, a student started a passion in search for treasures placed all around the globe. Through digging down into the ground, searching within the trees, and cracking codes, Junior Logan Berggren has found his hobby of geocaching.
Geocaching is kind of an activity where people go out and you download an app where it kind of tells you like where a spot is. So you go to that spot and it'll you'll have a little compass on your app and it'll get you there, and once you get close enough you start searching, and then you find, depending on the size, a different container with usually a note, and you sign your name on it and some prizes, and it's pretty fun.
Logan has gained lots of different types of swag, the term used to describe different types of prizes in geocaching gear. He even has trackables, which travel across the country and even the globe.
I find like a lot of like cool collectible coins, which are like, I think this is the coolest thing, but like for other people that usually don't do geocaching a lot, I think like just finding some cool like toys and stuff like that is some pretty cool stuff you can find. But I found like really cool things, like a whole like container full of different prizes that I just like kept going through. But it's just like it's kind of like the lottery. You never know what you're gonna expect, and it's like fun to see what's going to happen. There's these things called trackables, and like they're usually like little keychains with like a code on them, and like they're usually attached like a little toy or something, and you just move them from cache to cache. So you don't keep them, you just keep moving them from like each container, and they can go all around the world. Like I have some like in Germany and France, and I know like some have gone to like Mexico and places like that, and they just keep traveling around, and you can track them and see where they are, and you can pick them up and see where they've been too. So it's kind of fun to see like where they've been and everything.
Logan has made over 10 different geocaches placed around Omaha.
So this is my geocache. I made it a couple years ago. It's supposed to look like a water pipe, so like people don't try to like mess with it unless you're a geocacher.
I think a lot of it is geocaching is fun because you can make it as costly or as cheap as you'd like. Geocaching, you can just pay for the minimal download of the app to be able to go look for geocaches, and that's your expense, that's your cost, all the way up to going onto the Geo Store and buying trackables yourself and buying other types of items and swag. So you can go from a very economical activity all the way up to a very expensive, if you'd like, hobby.
Logan decided to take me out one-on-one to experience geocaching with him.
It was a really fun experience. We saw some spiders, but we overcame our fear and overall found the geocache.
Geocaching is a hobby that Logan will continue to keep on doing for the upcoming years. This has been Bailey Christensen and Dev Mehta with the MWHS Wildcat News.
For our next story, we touch on the first responder event for our ACP students. Both students from here and Beetle Middle School came to the parking lot for the event. Annalise Somali and Macy Wall bring you the news.
On May 22nd, first responders came to Millard Bus parking lot to help promote safety and awareness for students on the autism spectrum. This event was called Sensory Friendly Visit Day and was from 1 to 3. Many Millard schools came to join in on the fun.
A Sensory Friendly First Responder event is for our first responders and our students on the autism spectrum disorder or students with intellectual disabilities, just to interact with one another and for our students to be familiar with them so that they know that they can approach them and that they're here to keep us safe.
Before the visit, the students get together and brainstorm questions they want to ask the first responder. They also get to think about what they are most excited to see or step into.
Students get to go around and we kind of talk about and brainstorm some questions they might have for their first responders. So sometimes they come with a list or at least ask a few questions that they have for first responders, and really just to look at the equipment and be able to get into the cars or the fire truck or the helicopter, which is new this year.
When the time comes, they all get to come out and see the fire trucks, helicopters, horses, army trucks, police cars, and motorcycles. They also many times will get to talk into the police walkie-talkies.
They get to experience positive interaction with the police. We have stickers for them. We let them pet the horse. For several of them, it's the first time that they've ever been that close to a real horse before.
Autistic children tend to wander off for many different reasons. Normally, first responders are called to help find them or rescue them. They want to help show their children that they are always safe with the first responders, and they can always ask for help.
Like I said earlier, we do a lot of these events where we get to come out, high schools, elementary schools, we go to grade schools, we've been to colleges. This is the exact thing that we need. We need people to interact with police officers out in public when they're not being arrested or chased down or getting in trouble for something, so that all kids understand that police officers are good people.
Then got to ask some of the students what they were most excited to see.
The emergency vehicles, the helicopter, and the other things.
Helicopter. I saw it flowing down, and then I can't wait to see it flowing back up.
Another student knew how to be safe and shared it with us.
things I already know, like for the things I already know, like for being safe, is always wear is always wear a seatbelt veil, like don't text and drive veil, and don't drink and drive.
This is their third year doing this, and they plan on continuing each year and promoting safety for many years to come. This has been Annalise Smalley and Macy Wall in the MWHS Wildcat News.
That's all for this week's edition of the MWHS Wildcat News. We wish you a fun
but safe
summer.
We can't wait to bring you even more stories next year. See you next time, Wildcats.